So I wanted to let everyone know this is my third channel. My first channel was deleted by YouTube for hate speech, and what they did was quite nefarious. They had given me a strike for a video that I had done months before, and they extended that strike and made it 2 weeks, which would made it 2 strikes, which it wasn't. Suddenly Ellen Page comes out and is pretending to be FTM, female to male transgender. And I had made a video in 2019 that Ellen Page was born male. So that was just the little nail in the coffin for them to take my channel down, which was very kindly pointed out on my second channel that that was just an excuse because I had been talking about things that were getting too uncomfortable to the government employees. I started out doing transvestigations, and the more that I looked into these celebrities, the more that I found out they were doing quite bad things, and it wasn't just the transgender thing. In my research, people who had been to underground military bases said that they saw celebrities there. People who said that they were in military families and had to go to different Illuminati-style parties said that they saw celebrities there. And then I began to talk about the alchemy and the frequencies, and I had been talking about the witchcraft and the spells and the sigils. But when I started talking about the frequencies and the alchemy, I had noticed a shift. There was less YouTube employees commenting on my videos and more government employees commenting on my videos. And by government employees, I'm talking about the alphabet agencies like CIA, FBI, etc. And I can tell the difference. So my first channel was taken down, and I've been transparent about what they've done, what they've said to me since I had my first channel. But my second channel has disappeared, and it was about February this year, and I started noticing some really odd things. And then I found out YouTube had been recommending my channel. 33.4% of the views were YouTube recommendations. And it had gone up 945%, and I thought that's quite odd. 39.4% from YouTube recommending your content. Why the bloody hell would YouTube recommend my content knowing what I talk about? That was a red flag. And after considering it for a while, I deleted my channel because I knew what they were trying to do. They can't shut me up. They can't come right out and say, well, what you're talking about is actually fact, and we're not comfortable with that because we haven't decided how we're going to expose this to the public. And they keep deleting my videos based on violating guidelines when there are really no guidelines. Like, you can't talk about witchcraft, and you can't talk about alchemy, and you can't talk about the frequency weapons that they're using against people, which has been proven. And they can't come right out and say it because then some clever clogs is going to say, well, how do you know that? So what they were attempting to do is tweak YouTube to recommend my content, and then they can say, oh, you see that? She's controlled opposition because only YouTube recommends their own. That was the plan, was it? I noticed at that time that I had been getting comments from government employees, and I am aware that they have several different accounts. It's like the troll that followed me over to my BitChute channel has made like 6 or 7 accounts by now, and all he does is just post the same things, and it's like, it's so obvious that it's the same person. And the government employees have multiple accounts as well. So one person wrote this comment like, I don't understand why she doesn't teach us how to use witchcraft for our own benefit, and rah rah rah, and she condemns witchcraft and spells. The majority of people are very susceptible to suggestion, and these government employees, they know how to plant an idea and then have people run with it. And it's been going on since I had my first channel. Like, I'm sitting there reading these comments and thinking, How can people really be that dim? How can you not see that this is a YouTube employee or a government employee that's talking to you and getting an emotional reaction out to you so that you're not thinking critically, and then you're going in and running it with it, whatever they say? So I knew that this person was a government employee. And then another person popped up and they're like, yeah, I was wondering that too. She always talks about this stuff, but she never really tells a solution or what to do, rah, rah, rah. So I had written back and I didn't save it. It's not my place to tell you what to believe because that's violating your free will. I said, I'm not telling you what to do with your life. I'm showing you the deception. It's up to you what you do with that. And you need to withdraw your consent. The other girl replied, oh yeah, I'm just saying that I've noticed that you don't do that, but I know that you're only presenting information. And it was probably the same person that had written that original comment. Was like, oh, withdrawing consent, that sounds like some stupid new age stuff. And I thought, bam, thank you for letting me know that you're a government employee, because withdrawing your consent is everything. Everything. And it was probably one government employee with 2 accounts talking to itself like a nutter. And it's not really my job, but it is frustrating because I've quite honestly lost patience with the level of intelligence that the majority of people have, which is not very much. It's quite obvious to me, and it should be obvious to other people, that these government employees are planting little seeds to distract you and cause you to think a certain way. It seems that what they were attempting to do is hoping I wouldn't find out that they had tweaked YouTube to recommend my channel, go to other channels and you say, you know what, I noticed that YouTube is recommending above is below's content, that's dodgy. And then the same person with a different account comes back, yeah, you know what, always thought it was strange. She always seemed to know a bit too much about things, yeah. And she never gave out her email address and how to contact her. Listen, I'm entitled to my privacy, and for over a year and a half since I've had my channels, the YouTube employees and government employees have tried to wheedle out me giving my email account. Oh, can you give us your email account so that we can request transvestigations? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. They tried that crap for months. Now the government employees come, oh, there's something urgent that I need to talk to you about, but I can't put it in the comments. Do you have an email or somewhere I can contact you? No. Stop asking me. So my second channel, I decided to take down. And if it was YouTube, I would tell you, but it wasn't. And one of the videos that I had posted, it was very synchronistic because Paul had posted a video, and I ended up in the live stream while I was waiting for my video to upload because my internet is not a great connection. And I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, I was researching this and now we have a similar thing. So I put a link to Paul's video in my video. And one of the government employees wrote, the poll link is not working. Well, I clicked on it and it is working. They just don't want you to go there and see for yourself this stuff that's really happening. And they put it in the comments, oh, this alien thing, that sounds like some new age stuff. That sounds like rah, rah, rah. I don't believe in aliens and I don't believe in alien invasions. That's irrelevant. There are undisclosed and disclosed documents revealing that this is the case. And at some point they will have to come out and say this because there's too much going on now that it's become obvious. You really have to be living under a rock not to notice that a lot of people in the industry and the political parties are not what we consider human. It's not in fashion to be intelligent. It's not good for them to have an intelligent person pick up on things well before they've had a chance to lie about it all. And that's a problem for them. I'm a problem for them because I tell people you need to withdraw your consent. And tacit, presumed, or deemed consent is how these governments and other nefarious, covert organizations get to harass you. And I got a comment from somebody that she'd been getting harassed by some interdimensional entities, and when she started withdrawing her consent, it stopped. That's a problem for them because they need your tacit or presumed consent to do these things. I did a video on my first channel called The Harvesters, and that's what's happening right now. Think about in terms of people who were born into Illuminati families or satanic covens, that their mother sells them off without their consent or their permission. That's what your government has done. In a way, your government is your mother and has sold you off to whomever without your consent. So when I come along and tell you that you need to withdraw your consent, then those organizations have lost the rights to your soul. Literally. That's what all of this is happening right now. There's no covert or secret intentions that I have on my channel. My hope is for people to become sovereign and autonomous, meaning governing yourselves, not giving your will or your rights over to the next thing that's just going to have you jumping through hoops and doing whatever. I would like people to be sovereign. I would like to see people be able to live where they are not being pigeonholed or forced to hand over their rights or whatever in order to do things as they are doing now. I don't agree with that. I agree with people being independent. I agree with people living their lives happily and not doing harm to other people. And in turn, not having governmental organizations or interdimensional entities having sovereignty over you. I expect and I anticipate that in future it will become clear that this is my channel, and I give you the task of differentiating when you see government employees commenting and saying things that are designed to divert your attention or to trigger you emotionally, and to have a bit more critical thinking, and also just to be aware they are attacking people who really are trying to help others and put the information and help people to come out of this coma that we've all been under. So really it is down to you to be aware that a lot of the people who are commenting on these videos with strange things to say, they're not normal everyday humans. They work for the government. They've sold themselves to the government. They are prostitutes to the government. I've commented on other channels that I follow, and the government employees demand that I show my face. You don't have a right to demand that from me. I have not signed any treaty or obligation to any corporation that compels me to reveal my identity. That's my business. My wish and my hope is that people can be able to create what they want without any interference from negative corporations or governments or entities. And if you do find such things in your life, you must withdraw your consent.